11th lesson. Some mendicants say unto others, who follow the same rules of conduct, or live in the same place, or wander from village to village, if they have received agreeable food and another mendicant falls sick, 1. Take it. Give it him. If the sick mendicant will not eat it, thou mayst eat it. But he, who is ordered to bring the food, thinking, I shall eat it myself, covers it and shows it, saying, This is the lump of food, it is rough to the taste too, it is pungent, it is bitter, it is astringent, it is sour, it is sweet, there is certainly nothing in it fit for a sick person. As this would be sinful, he should not do so. But he should show him which parts are not fit for a sick person, saying, This particle is pungent, this one bitter, this one astringent, this one sour, this one sweet. 1. Some mendicants say unto others, who follow the same rules of conduct, or live in the same place, or wander from village to village, if they have received agreeable food and another mendicant falls sick, take it. Give it him. If the mendicant will not eat it, bring it to us. If nothing prevents me, I shall. Page 117. Bring it. Then he might act as stated in section 1, which would be sinful. 2. For the avoidance of these occasions to sin there are 7 rules for begging food and as many for begging drink, to be known by the mendicants. Now, this is the first rule for begging food. Neither hand nor vessel are wet. 1. With such a hand or vessel he may accept as pure food, and c. for which he himself begs or which the other gives him. That is the first rule for begging food. 3. Now follows the second rule for begging food. The hand and the vessel are wet. The rest as in the preceding rule. That is the second rule for begging food. 4. Now follows the third rule for begging food. In the East and C, there are several faithful householders, and C, all down to servants, they have put food in some of their various vessels, as a pan, a pot, a winnowing basket, a precious vessel. Now, the mendicant should again know, is the hand not wet and the vessel wet, or the hand wet and the vessel not wet? If he collect alms with an alms bowl or with his hand too, he should say, after consideration, O long-lived one. Or, O sister, with your not wet hand, or with your wet vessel, put alms in this my bowl or hand, and give it me. Such like food, for which he himself begs or which the other gives him, he may accept, for it is pure and acceptable. That is the third rule for begging food. 5. Now follows the fourth rule for begging food. A. Page 118. Monk or a nun may accept flattened grains, and c. Cf 2, 1, section 5, for which they beg themselves or which the other gives them, if it be such as to require little cleaning or taking out of chaff, for it is pure, and c. That is the fourth rule for begging food. 6. Now follows the fifth rule for begging food. A monk or a nun may accept food which is offered on a plate or a copper cup or any vessel, if the moisture on the hands of the giver is almost dried up, 4, and c. That is the fifth rule for begging food. 7. Now follows the sixth rule for begging food. A monk or a nun may accept food which had been taken up from the ground, either taken up for one's own sake or accepted for the sake of somebody else, whether it be placed in a vessel or in the hand, 4, and c. That is the sixth rule for begging food. 8. Now follows the seventh rule for begging food. A monk or a nun may accept food of which only a part may be used, and which is not wanted by bipeds, quadrupeds, shramanas, brahmanas, guests, paupers, and beggars, whether they beg for it themselves, or the householder gives it them. That is the seventh rule for begging food. 9. These are the 7 rules for begging food. Now follow the 7 rules for begging drink. They are, however, the same as those about food, only the fourth gives this precept: a monk or a nun may accept as drink water which has been used for watering flour or sesamum, and c. 2, 1, 7, section 7, if it be such as to require little cleaning and taking out of impure articles, 4, and c. 10. One who has adopted one of these 7 rules for begging food or drink should not say, "These reverend persons have chosen a wrong rule, I alone." Page 119. Have rightly chosen. But he should say these reverend persons, who follow these rules, and I who follow that rule, we all exert ourselves according to the commandment of the Jina, and we respect each other accordingly. This certainly is the whole duty, and see. Thus I say. 11. End of the first lecture, called Begging of Food. Footnotes. 116:1. This is the way in which the commentator construes the sentence. There is some confusion in the text, which cannot easily be removed. 116:2 Low, Sanskrit Raksha? 117:1 Samsatha. It would perhaps be more correct to translate this word, soiled with the food in question. 117:2 These are the Padigahatari and the Panapadagahiya, lit, one who uses his hand instead of an alms bowl.